welcome, Ashna. Thank you very much for joining this podcast with us today. We're going to introduce this podcast at the TYS Governance Board meeting. So we can all wave, everybody wave to the Governance Board. They're all watching us. Hi, everybody. What I'd like you to do, first of all, is if you could just introduce yourself to the TYS Governance Board and just tell them a little bit about your role and where your company currently is with their onboarding to TYS.
Sure. So hello all. For those of you who haven't met me, I am Ashna Amarshi. I am the Director of Policy, Risk and Compliance within Procurement at GSK. So for those of you who don't know GSK, we're a science-led global healthcare company, and our real main purpose is to help people to do more, feel better and live longer. And one of the ways that we do this is to partner with brilliant suppliers across the globe, no matter the size. So that is really where the TYS process comes in place for us. We have over 100,000 suppliers within our external vendor network who we need to efficiently get on board with our processes. We need to background check them and make sure that they are the right supplier for GSK and our internal clients. TYS has, I think, been quite eye-opening for us just to see how far tech has come in terms of the blockchain and how much more we could be doing with our supplier onboarding process. So where we are at the moment is very much like the rest of our peers and other industries. We have a relatively manual process for background checking, finance, risk, credit checks, etc. All of the things that we are meant to do as a FTSE 100 company, and yet that really does not give our internal users and also our suppliers the best experience and the best first start at GSK. So really with TYS, where we are at the moment is looking to embed the solution within our onboarding process, so within our finance systems, to really make sure that that supplier gets a really efficient onboarding process, that they're not being asked the same questions that our peers at J&J, Sanofi, Pfizer are asking them all at the same time. We're coming together as an industry to really give the supplier a better experience firsthand, but also then give our internal customers a better experience and more trust in procurement and finance, that we can move in an agile way to get the suppliers that they need to do their jobs and help the patients at GSK.
Brilliant, and especially at the moment with the certain situation that we're working in, it's great to have that type of information available to you because I'm sure your supply chain has expanded over the past 9 or 10 months.
Yeah, exactly. And COVID has brought to light a lot of new suppliers that we've had to engage with, but our trust requirements and the ability to check the suppliers hasn't changed. We've just had to become faster in really trying to onboard those suppliers via our manual process. So that they can start providing the PPE that our sites need, or the potential R&D active pharmaceutical ingredients that our R&D vaccines team need for trying to develop a corona drug. I kind of wish we'd started this journey with TYS a year ago so that we could be in a position to reap the rewards of that. But hopefully for the next pandemic, we'll be ready.
How do you think this will make a difference in your current onboarding experience, right? And what is your strategy as part of a procurement that you see TYS fitting into which area of yours?
Yeah, so within GSK, our onboarding process is firmly within our procurement and finance responsibility as the two major functions that rely on the onboarding experience. Just in your demo, Mohit, what I really took away was firstly the transparency of the process for the supplier and our internal stakeholders. I think one of the struggles that both our suppliers and our internal stakeholders has is currently when it goes into the onboarding in environment, it turns into a little bit of a black hole. They don't know where they are within the process. They don't know what they have to do next, or whether the step they've done before was the correct action. So I love the transparency of it, and I love that users can go in and self-serve versus having to come back to the procurement and finance teams all the time for a status update. The second point I love as well is the ability to customize some of those questionnaires. So I take GSK as an example. Whilst we work in over 150 countries in the world, there are local requirements that some of those countries need. We cannot sit in our London HQ and put a rubber stamp and say this is the only process that happens. Local regulatory and legal laws require some countries to do different things. And this solution almost provides that global feeling. You have this global umbrella, but you're really considering and taking into account what a local operating country needs and making that process more effective for them. So yeah, those would be my two biggest takeaways. We've been stuck in the position that we have been for quite a long time with the solutions that we've tested out externally with some of your peers to be hitting maybe 60 or 70% of what we need, which involves a large range of integration, big four corporate teams coming in and spending years of their life in making sure that integration goes okay. TYS for me seems a lot more flexible, definitely flexible in the questions that we ask, but also the ability to customize versus our needs without having to go through big integration changes to our SAP stack, or having to get tons of consultants in. And also I cannot stress to you more this benefit of the transparency. And that's, for me, the absolute thing that I'm really excited about. Going back to my business and saying, you've all been complaining about this for so long. I'm so sorry, but here's something that we can actually do now without a lot of time and resources to make your lives easier. And I think that's really what I'm the most excited about, giving back time to my scientists and the R&D guys to allow them to focus on what they really want to do at GSK, which is making people do more, feel better, and live longer without having to worry about how to onboard a supplier.
Is there anything that you think that TYS can help you scale up your onboarding quicker?
So I think supplier onboarding is really the start. So getting them up onto our ECC or SAP Stack network is really the first step. But what you guys have done that goes beyond, the mechanics of what you do is bring the industry together. And that's where I see there are a lot more opportunities. Why are we stopping on onboarding? Why can't we look at joint audits and share audit reports? Why can't we look at, I don't know, joint supply chain issues, or use it for logistics and storage too? So I see this application of the blockchain within an industry to be really important.
I want to really say thank you, Ashna. From me personally, you and I connect on a weekly basis. And not only have we connected about what we're doing within the product, but we've also connected with regards to our integrations. And at the end of the day, that's another key element that we need to ensure that we are covering. It's not just about the application. We've now supported those discussions as well. And they will be ongoing over the next period of time. So I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of myself and from TYS as well.
Fantastic. Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.